I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at instory@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sorry. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sorry and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. The child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener.
The Beatles, we can work it out. You know, sometimes when we're in commercial break, our microphones are still hot and we don't know it. And you never know what you're going to hear. Anyway, so we're doing a Revo stream for the entire week. He's streaming every single day. But by the time you see this video broken up, it will have already been done. Old news.
Old news.
You should subscribe to the Vin and Sorry live channel. Okay. The Beatles, we can work it out. First, I want to actually talk about a different band and song you have reacted to, The Byrds. Inspired by the Beatles' folk influences, decided to cover anti-war folk songs as rock songs like Turn, Turn, Turn. The band flew off the roof in popularity. The Beatles and many rock groups began to quickly get rid of the teenage puppy dog pretenses of before and start songs with a more surreal in nature or openly political in nature. At this time, with folk rock songs... Okay, wait a minute. So this was at what time? Oh, he doesn't say yet. Oh, right here. At this time with folk rock songs, and then by 1967 as psychedelic songs. Many of these British musicians grew up during World War II when the UK was being bombed. John Lennon himself was born in the middle of an air raid. Wow. Roger Waters of Pink Floyd lost his father in World War II. Graham Nash and the Hollies said that he believed that they could stop World War III if they filled the radio airwaves with songs about love and peace. Oh, cute. This is when John Lennon... Oh, man. Wait, so that's so funny. Who said that? Graham Nash. It kind of sounded like something John Lennon would have said, right?
Yeah.
That Imagine song? Is that... This is when John Lennon starts making explicit political comments and upset Southern U.S. Christians when they took a quote out of context of him saying, "We are more popular than Jesus." Yes! I remember that getting said, and I actually remember...
How could you remember? You weren't even born.
No. I remember them bringing that up in multiple contexts when they were telling us about how bad music was. They said that who was it? John Lennon said that? I remember the phrase that he...
Was he the one that said that?
That's what Revo just said. Yeah. But I thought it was the Beatles that had said that.
Well, he's in the Beatles.
John Lennon? Oh. I was thinking... Okay. All right. So yes. I knew it was the Beatles that had said that. And it was like... And then they told us... The Beatles died young, right? Or something happened. Something tragic.
John Lennon got shot.
Right. And they told us that's... They would tell us that, and they would tell us about the Titanic, saying even the thumb of God couldn't sink the ship, and then they all died. So I guess they were warning. I don't know. take what you will from
So
that.
John Lennon deserved to get shot in cold blood in the street because he said his band was more popular than Jesus?
Basically, I think it was like he got what he got,
What
which
if
is
they
crazy
were?
because
What
then
if they were, though?
what?
What if they were?
More popular than Jesus? Well, like you, not historically, like maybe back in Jesus's time, yeah, they probably were. But first of all, I don't even know what the context. Hold on. So this is when John Lennon starts making explicit political comments and upset Southern U.S. Christians when they took a quote out of context. He said, "I have zero idea what the context is." Of him saying we're more popular than Jesus. In his apology, he said he wasn't saying we are better than Jesus. The person who ultimately shot John Lennon said he did it because of the quote and the Catcher in the Rye. Why?
I don't know.
You can't.
I
You
just
can't
did a
even
brief-
speculate.
I did a brief check on it when people were laughing at me because I said we got to do an interview with the homie. So I checked and I was like, holy shit, he got shot in New York. And that's it.
But that sort of idea where they're saying that about, when they were like, this is what he said, that's what happened to him,
Yeah.
that same attitude is what Behemoth,
Nergal.
when he got sick, that was the same attitude that they spewed toward him. Paul McCartney says this song was inspired by an argument with his then girlfriend Jane Asher. Boy, people just put all their business out there like that. He said that such squabbles were common with people and felt that since the Beatles songs were heard by millions, he could spread a good message. You guys will watch the official version and the audience will watch with the altered audio.
Try to see it my way. Do I have to keep on talking till I can go on? Why do you see it your way? Run the risk of knowing that our love may soon be gone. We can work it out. We can work it out. Think of what you're saying. You can get it wrong and still you think that it's alright. Think of what I'm saying. We can work it out and get it straight or say goodnight. We can work it out. We can work it out. Life is very short and there's no time for fussing and fighting, my friend. I have always thought that it's a crime. So I will ask you once again. Try to see it my way. Only time will tell if I am right or I am wrong. Why you see it your way? There's a chance that we might fall apart before too long. We can work it out. We can work it out. Life is very short and there's no time for fussing and fighting, my friend. I have always thought that it's a crime. So I will ask you once again. Try to see it my way. Only time will tell if I am right or I am wrong. Why you see it your way? There's a chance that we might fall apart before too long. We can work it out. We can work it out.
Bada bing, bada boom. That was the
Babe,
Beatles.
look at this guy's face. Look at he looks so bored as fuck, right? Look.
Yeah, I don't know who that drummer was.
Look, I'm
The
gonna
drummer get wicked.
send you the picture so they can see why I laughed partway through the song.
Wicked, work it out.
Okay, this is my favorite Beatles song so far. And
Really?
yeah, this was my favorite. And secondly, did you notice that the guy that I don't know what you guys were looking at over there, but in the official video, the guy that was looking straight into the camera for the most of it, I don't know, was that John Lennon? I don't really know. No, it couldn't have been John Lennon.
You give me back the audio thing.
Yeah. He just had like a really friendly face. So the two guys that were in the camera, the majority of the time, they just had like I didn't like that other guy's face. The Predator song.
Okay.
The sexually frustrated song. I didn't really like his face. Like the way that he looked into the camera, I was like, ah.
Oh,
but these
that
two,
was Mick Jagger.
but these two fellas, when they looked into the camera, there was a warmness to it. It felt
Yeah,
like
he looked kind.
it felt kind, and not like Reza when he's mad, the gremlin face. So I like, you guys, look at this drummer. Look at the face that he, like the one time he gets on camera, he looks like disgruntled or something
Still
else.
processing. Go.
Oh, weird. Okay. So anyway, I really liked this song. This one I could listen to on loop for a while. So I actually didn't pay attention to the lyrics, because I didn't want to take my eyes off of the visuals, because I was like, am I going to like them? Like,
There's miserable old Ringo there.
why is he making that face? Literally the whole time that he was on there,
He's
like,
fighting with his girlfriend. Maybe he doesn't think they can work it out. Maybe
oh,
life isn't so
he's
easy.
like, yeah, right. Okay, I'm pulling up the lyrics.
Okay, so it's Paul McCartney was the guy singing lead, John Lennon on the keyboards.
Okay,
So there you go.
Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Okay. Just a nicer, kinder, less scary face.
Then the other guy.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, definitely this one's my favorite. So he says, I am curious about one part of the lyrics because, okay, try to see it my way. Do I have to keep on talking till I can't go on? Oh, babe. Sounds like you. Well, you see it your way. Run the risk of knowing that our love may soon be gone. We can work it out. We can work it out. Okay, so is he saying... Okay, he's saying that she should try to see it his way. While you see it your way, run the risk of knowing that our love may soon be gone. Is he basically saying, look, you should just see it my way, because if you keep trying to see it your way, we might run out of love for each other?
I think...
Or am I misreading that?
No, I think that's what he's saying, although there seems to be a mutuality where he's saying, look, if we can't get this past this, then we're not going to be able to... I think he's just saying, don't take the relationship for granted. I don't think he's like necessarily making a threat. I just think he knows that if they don't figure out how to see stuff from each other's perspective, then you're not for a relationship for very long.
Okay. I like when he says we can work it out, though. Because it's like, okay, this is not going good, but, like when you say, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I like it when you say, we'll figure it out. I'm like, you know what? That to me, if you're trying to, like when I said, don't say relax, actually relax. That's not helpful. But we'll figure it out. That to me is calming. So if I'm like all stressed out, how are we going to make this work? We'll work it out, babe. I'd be much better with that.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
Shout out to the Beatles.
Think of what you're saying. You could get it wrong and still think it's all right. Think of what I'm saying. We can work it out and get it straight, or say good night.
See, he keeps saying that she is the wrong. Like, think of what you're saying. You can get it wrong and still think that you're all right. Think of what I'm saying. We can work it out and get it straight, or say good night. He's not saying I could get it wrong. Because both parties thinks that they're right. But I feel like he just wants her to see that she could be wrong and that he's not saying he could be wrong.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing because people always say there's two sides to every story. That's not always the case.
Look, did you see Maurice? When her, right there. We'll figure it out. It encourages her too.
Yeah, but
he's got my back, she said.
But like, it's not always true that there's two sides to every story. There can be altercations in a couple's life where somebody does need to just listen. Right? Like there is a right and there is a right and there is a wrong. To me,
yeah.
it's like it's unrealistic to approach every situation and say, okay, we both have equally valid points. That may or may not be true. It really truly depends on the situation. So like when I was growing up, I saw my mom get in altercations, and there were times when she was 100% in the right and the other guy was wrong, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. So like, I understand politically you're supposed to say, all right, there are things where you shouldn't compromise in relationships. So that's the thing. People make these generalized statements. People say, There's two sides to every story. You have to compromise on everything, yada, yada, yada. But there are hard lines in relationships to where there shouldn't be compromise. So, for example, if there's an altercation and one of them says, I want to see a bunch of different people, and the other one says, no, our relationship is exclusive. Well, should the person say, okay, you wanna see 4 different people at the same time. I want it to be exclusive. So how about we make it 2 people at the same time so that we can say we're compromised? Like, that doesn't work.
Right.
There has to be a line where you don't compromise in the relationship, and there also has to be situations where the person has to say, yeah, maybe I held on to this too much or whatever. My point is, like, I just feel like cliches kill relationships because it creates all these expectations to where it's like compromise is the easiest example to me. It's like, okay, so everything's supposed to be compromised. That leads to a really, really dangerous track. So it's just it's very, very prickly. Go ahead.
I do see what you're saying. I think I do agree with the whole like cliches kill a relationship. Depending on, well, I think that cliches kill genuine relationships because cliches, in my opinion, worked very good for me previously. The cliche would just kind of carry me through. And like, I think that relationship was not going to work itself out because there were certain things that were never going to change. And whether or not I use the cliches to get through the first X amount of years or not, doesn't change the end result. In my opinion, you probably have a different opinion.
Well,
in my opinion, that person made a decision. They weren't going to change. They decided what they were going to do and they were going to run with it regardless. So even at the end when they were being confronted by it and I was no longer using the cliches, it was still staying where it was. But in this relationship, cliches, they really don't work at all. They do not help.
Well, I mean, it just depends on what you call a working relationship or a living relationship. Like, we know people who are married that have a bunch of cliches and no relationship at all.
That's what I'm saying. I said.
So when you say
that's
working,
literally what I said.
What I'm saying is when you say working, if your goal is to stay married on paper, sure. But if your goal
I
is
said
an actual
genuine.
Real relationship.
If you want to have a genuine relationship, I don't think cliches work.
Yeah.
And I don't think that my relationship previously, it was nowhere near as genuine as this one is. But this relationship will not. Cliches don't work.
I kind of think what he's saying. He says, "Life is very short. There's no time for fussing and fighting, my friend. I've always thought that it's a crime. So I'll ask once again. Try to see it my way. Only time will tell if I'm right or wrong." Mm-hmm. So he's not saying I'm completely right, but at the same time, he's also not saying I think you and I have an equal issue here. He's not saying that either, and that's what I appreciate about the song, because to me, this is what's most realistic in relationships.
Yeah, but I still feel like he's saying that he believes it would be better if she saw it his way, that would be the best for them.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Because why make a false equivalency if you truly don't believe that?
Yeah, it depends on what the thing is. I think that the phrase, what was the cliche that you had just said?
We should always compromise.
No, there's two sides to every story.
Right.
I think that there can be multiple interpretations of an event based on how people are viewing it. So some people are going to view a situation based on what like literally happened in the event, and other people are more inclined to how the event made them feel. And so you can remember an event differently because of how it made you feel, based rather than what was actually the facts of what happened. So sometimes the way that somebody talks to you is hurtful, but it doesn't mean that and you felt like that they yelled at you, but you didn't necessarily get yelled at. It was just the tone you didn't like, and so it made you feel like as if the person had yelled. So I think that like it's important to know where the other person is coming from and to try to understand what they're saying. So if the person is very logical, they're going to give you, like the logical breakdown of what happened. versus the emotional side of how they felt about it. And so sometimes you have to try to tap in relationally, like what was it about that situation that, you know, like we had a disagreement or whatever the other day, and we were 85% into the conversation before I realized that you were communicating feelings. I thought that you were communicating facts of right and wrong.
Yeah, but the only reason that's significant to you is because you're a feelings-oriented person. So if I just kept it at facts, then the perspective doesn't carry as much of the weight with you because you're feelings-oriented. So
Yeah.
I have to translate what's going on with me in feelings terms for it to get through. Because you're not gonna look at the thing from my mind state, because it's just in the moment, whatever it is, it's just not valid to you.
Yeah.
Feelings are valid to you. So if it gets communicated to you that way, then, you know, whatever. Which obviously, you know, creates different kinds of
Yeah,
tensions
it's true. Yeah.
Because obviously, from my vantage point, you know, in a perfect world, you would want somebody to be like, okay, this is how you think. I'm jumping into your shoes. I see it. But, you know, but again, that's all about communication. Everything is about communication. So they're having that. That's what's interesting to me about these people as songwriters. Like, this was a song yesterday. It was a relationship song, but he was telling his friend not to take his girlfriend for granted. So it was like a third party guy that was mediating between the two. And I'd never really heard that in a love relationship song before. And then this song is so explicitly like practical, like, please listen to me, you know, let's, you know, what, like that's not run it, but they found a way to communicate these very important, nuanced issues relative to relationships in a catchy way, which to me is a interesting level of genius. That's very hard to attain, because
Yeah.
you quickly run into the trap of sounding too preachy. But the fact that they can make it, it's basically, you know, broccoli wrapped up in candy wrapping, basically. Like, it's good for you. The outside seems, you know, very appealing, but if you adjust it, it's pretty good. That's pretty much what it is. I don't like this song as much as the other song. The other song was just like, complete earworm. This song is good too, though. I'm going to give this one a 9.
One last thing is, I like that when he says there's a chance we might fall apart before too long, because he's putting the warning out there that, like, this is not healthy for our relationship. But then after he says that, he says twice, we can work it out, we can work it out. So
Right.
It's like he's trying to give positive feedback about the relationship, like double the amount of the negative, but the negative is not necessarily like a negative if you can look at it as, hey, here's some positive criticism about our relationship so we can make this better, so we can work it out, whatever. So I'm actually going to give this Beatles song a 10. I really liked this one.
Whoa.
I liked the feel of it, the vibe of it, all around.
Dwayne's going to have to change his name.
Why? Does he hate this one?
No, he's 3.5.
Oh, yeah, I know, but he can still, people like to hold on to the negative.
There you are, dear listener. Vin out.
Sorry, out.
Go.
I thought you were going to say that Dwayne hates this one, and this one's like a 3.5 to him.
No.
Like,
He thinks every
I
Beatles,
finally give it a 10.
every
and you
Beatles song's an 11 for this guy.